What's going on, guys? It's Digidesdan here, and I am driving, but I just wanted to take the time to kind of do a little bit of a story time because of an experience that I had just recently, just a few days ago, that left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. And we all encounter those kind of collecting horror stories. This one is a little bit like that, but yeah, I decided to share that with you guys in my first quote unquote vlog. So to set the setting, I was on Facebook. Actually, my fiance was on Facebook, and she's part of a collecting group that I'm part of. And my friend, one of my collecting buddies, posted up a picture of a CDx in a thrift store. It was priced at $200, $199.99. He said, "Hey, whoever wants this, go get it." And so I hit him up and I ask him or confirm with him my suspicions of where the thrift store is at, and he confirms that. I go over there and go and see if I can't pick up a CDx. When I get there, the CDx is still there. Oh, and if you don't know what a CDx is, it's a console made by Sega. It is a compact console, about the size, a little bit bigger than a CD player, and it has a cartridge slot for Genesis games and a CD tray for Sega CD games. So it's a two-in-one console. They're fairly rare. They run about $250 plus for kind of working one, I guess. And so I go to this thrift store, I inquire about it. There's a lady behind the counter, and I ask her if I can see the Sega CDx. She says sure. She's a nice lady so far. And on the console itself, there's a little sticker that had what it was, the price, and a little bit of details behind it. Oh yeah, it's a hybrid system. And it also mentioned that the console, the cartridge part, was working, but the CD part was not. And this seems to be a common issue with Sega CDXs, whereas the laser goes out, or the tray doesn't recognize that it's closed, and so it doesn't really spin the disc, or it doesn't read the disc. Seeing that it was $200, I was kind of weary as to picking it up, because it was $200. I don't know if I wanted to spend $200 on a project with the small possibility of me fixing it. Because from what I've heard, they're a little bit finicky. They're hard systems to work on. And so I'm talking with the lady. The lady says that she took it to a local game store, and also said this on the note as well. They took it to a local game store where they had it tested, and this is where they got their information. It's not that I don't believe that thrift store, but I just wanted to see if I could get any more details, since that local game store is going to be more of an authority on the Sega CDX than the thrift store is. So she tells me to research it if I don't believe her the price, and so on and so forth. So I begin to research. I look on eBay, and I even decided to call the local game store. And so as I'm looking it up, she checks in with me, and she says, "Are you looking it up?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." I tell her I'm going to call the game store. I tell her I'm going to call the game store. I'm going to verify the information, as well as see if I can't get any more details. And this is where it gets kind of goes downhill. It's not a lot downhill, but just a little bit. She starts trying to push the sale, like, "Oh, this is a rare console. We looked it up on eBay. A lot of them are selling for more than this, in worse condition, not even working." I'm like, "Okay, well, I believe you. I saw them, and I was being polite about it. But the fact of the matter is, I want to be able to call and verify with this game store and see if I can't get more information, just in case, or potentially answer some of the questions that she might not be able to answer." And So I call up the game store, and as I'm dialing the number, she's like, "Oh, well, they're not going to give you any more details, and I already gave you that sort of thing." And she started to sound a little condescending. She's like, "Oh, good luck finding more information about it," that sort of thing. She's like, "Oh, I don't even know if they'll remember if they tested it or not." I'm like, "Well, this sort of response from her kind of, I was taken aback, and so I just said, "Oh, it doesn't hurt to try." I told her it doesn't hurt to try. I can call them, and if it turns out that I still want the Sega CDx after my talk with them, I'll come back and buy it. And so I start my conversation on the phone in the store, and is very in the very beginning of the conversation. I decide I shouldn't be on the phone while I'm inside. Just common courtesy sort of thing. Common courtesy. And so I start walking out as I'm on the phone so I can speak outside. And as I'm walking past the lady who had walked away for a moment, I'm saying to the person on the other line at the local game store, if you could provide me any more details. I set the setting. I let them know what was going on. I'm like, "Hey, I'm looking at Sega CDx. You guys apparently tested. I was wondering if you could provide me some more details." That's exactly what I said. And as I'm walking by, the lady overhears this, and under her breath, she says, "There's no way that they're going to keep details on it. They don't have any details. I told you everything." That sort of thing. And this is under her breath, and I'm on the phone. I'm kind of in shock that she would say that. As a customer, I'm not entitled to anything, but I do have a right to do my own research on a product, especially if it is a non-for-profit thrift store selling an item they got for free for $200 that is in not 100% working condition. And so I talked with the person who actually tested the system at the game store, and he said he verified all of the information. He told me exactly what she told me, but I also continued with the other few questions like, is this something you encounter a lot? Is this something that professionally you know of anybody, or is this anything that you have encountered before, or do you know people that may be able to fix it, or have you heard of people fixing this issue before? That sort of thing. Is this a reasonable thing to expect to be fixed? And I'm pretty sure that this lady wouldn't be able to answer those questions for me. He told me, "Yeah, this is a common issue. This is where I got my information from. It's a common issue. I even looked it up on the internet, on the forums and Reddit, and they said the same exact thing." And then he mentioned to me that it's not unreasonable, it's a feasible fix, but it just may take a lot of time and money because they are finicky systems, especially if you don't know what you're doing. And that's the sort of information that I needed. And so I was able to take that information, realize that $200 for this system that's not 100% working is not worth my time, especially when that lady was as rude to me as she was. And I figured I'm not going to give my money, my business, to this thrift store. It's just not worth it, And so I decided I'm just going to go over to the local game store themselves. They helped me out a lot. And I actually picked up a few things from them instead. Yeah, Sega CDX is rare. You don't come across it very often. $200 is not a bad price. But for the experience that I had, it's not worth it. And it's not like I'm going to go leave a bad review on their website or anything, or Yelp, or whatever review site there is. I just figured if that's the way that they're going to go about carrying their business, so be it. I probably just won't go in there anymore. It's not like I find a lot of deals in there anyway, since they're looking everything up on eBay and really pushing that number. They don't want to negotiate. which is fine. You know, I'm okay with that. I don't have to buy from them. But yeah, I mean, it's just an experience that left a bad taste in my mouth. And so, I guess what I'm trying to say is there is somewhat of a level of professionalism, common courtesy, of just basic manners that needs to be upheld while you're out collecting. You know, um, sure, you have to be polite and everything, but well, yeah, you have to be polite. You have to be well mannered. You know, you're not entitled to anything. You can't go in demanding a deal, but this goes on the buyer side too, or the seller side. You can't be so committed to pushing a sale that you had to be rude about it, that sort of thing. And again, give me the benefit of the doubt. I might not know exactly what you're talking about, but I still can go research it, find out my own information before I decide to buy it, you know? So, I don't know, that's that. If you did like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully, I might do a little bit more of this, you know, collecting horror stories, talking about collecting etiquette, you know, collect a kit, I don't know. But yeah, if you do have any other collecting horror stories or similar experiences, please, you know, share on my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube comments, whatever, man. But yeah, we'll see you on the next one.